As a pastor and now leader here at Fuller Seminary, I'm kind of a take the hill guy. Give me a big challenge and I'm up for it. But one of my good friends in ministry is someone who's tired of taking hills. When you ask him about his calling, he lights up. He talks about the fact that he gets to serve as a pastor in a retirement community with senior saints, people who are at the end of their lives who have loved Jesus faithfully. And he gets to hug and kiss and take care of them all the way until they go into glory. Sometimes I think he wishes he was more like me, and I know sometimes I wish I was more like him. I'm a take the hill guy, he's a love grandma kind of guy. The hard part about ministry is that really we have to take the hill with grandma. We can't leave our senior saints or any saints. We can't leave our children behind. If we're going to cross into the promised land and go through the wilderness, the kids are going with us, and so is everybody else. Part of what makes leadership so complicated in a church situation or in any Christian environment is that we have been given people by God whom we have to lead. And we can't just hand pick a small band of brothers and sisters to take with us. We have to go together with the ones that God gave us. And that's part of what makes this such a complicated task, much more difficult than other organizations, perhaps. Peter Drucker famously said that the most difficult jobs, in his opinion, were university president, hospital administrator, small-town mayor, and pastor. When asked why, he said it's because they have so many stakeholders with competing values, and that those competing values often made it a very complex environment in which to lead. In this Doctor of Ministry class, Leading Congregational and Organizational Change, we'll be looking at those very same competing values and what it requires of leaders in order to bring change. And we're going to be looking at one other factor. What about doing those kind of that kind of change in those kind of environments when we're Christian? Because it's even more complex. In Christian organizations, they're more like family businesses. The brother-in-law that you have to fire is also your deepest friend. The person who's coming to your house for Thanksgiving dinner is also the person who didn't turn in their budget or their spreadsheet, or hasn't been completing their assignments for months now. How do we supervise? How do we lead? How do we set priorities for our organizations in a world where we're dealing with the competing commitments that are within our own hearts? People who we deeply love and people who have to be on a mission with us, where we give them inherent value because they're our brothers and sisters in Christ, or they're part of our mission, but we also have something that we need to accomplish in the name of Christ. Those complexities is what we'll be exploring together. And even more than learning techniques or even principles for adaptive leadership, we'll be looking at the kind of resiliency, the kind of character, the kind of qualities that leaders need in order to be able to come into exactly those kinds of organizations and those congregations and bring change. I would love to have you join me. It will be a great cohort. We'll be learning from each other. We'll be working real time, right out of the context of the ministries we're in. We'll be learning to look at our ministries and our organizations. We'll be applying the information that we're learning. We'll be trying experiments and we'll be reflecting on them. It will be a true real-time learning environment for leadership development. I hope that you'll join me. I hope that you'll come and be with it. I'm looking forward to this cohort a lot.